Hello everyone, in this lesson, we will learn about assembly and assembly constraints in NX10 software. As the name implies, assembly involves assembling the modeled parts into structures, products, etc. The assembly process establishes connections between components in the assembly by creating constraints that define their positions in their product. First, let's open UGNX10 and create a new assembly file. In the Template tab, we select Assembly, name it Assembly, and click Confirm to enter the assembly work environment. Assembly design is done within the assembly module. The assembly module not only combines parts into a product, but also allows for component design in reference to other parts. It can also perform gap analysis, weight management, and other operations on assembly model. After generating the assembly model, you can create an exploded view and bring it into the assembly drawing. The assembly drawing can also automatically generate a bill of materials. The commands in the assembly toolbar can also be found in assembly drop-down menu, and you can add or remove them as needed. In the assembly interface, the component drop-down menu includes commands like add component and new component. Add component is used in bottom-up assembly, where pre-existing model files are added as assembly components, often used in mold design. New component is typically used in top-down assembly, where component geometry is created within the assembly and modified as you design, often used in automated product design. Next, let's go through the steps to see how parts are assembled into a structure. Click the Add Component command, and the system will pop up the Add Component dialog box. This command is used in bottom-up assembly when all the models have been completed and are ready for assembly. We open the completed components and add constraints. Generally, the first component is a fixed position component within the entire mechanism, such as a clamp body, base, etc. So a fixed constraint is usually applied to it. After adding the first component, continue to add the second component and then add constraints. Except for the first part, which only needs one fixed constraint. The other parts need at least two constraints to be fully constrained. When all parts have been added, the entire assembly is completed. In this lesson, we mainly discussed the assembly work environment and steps. Please practice more after class to become proficient in the operation. See you in the next lesson.
Hello, everyone. Next, we will enter the assembly module. The section 14, Introduction to Assembly. Then we first open UG and click New. First of all, notice that we are going to switch from model to the second one, Assembly. Then click OK to enter. Then its interface looks like this. After entering, it will have a dialog box. Then here is to select some parts you want to insert. The first class you took before. The parts built in part. Serve the assembly module. Any parts you build there can be plugged into the equipment. Is to concentrate multiple parts in one. Because I didn't save those before, so it's not shown here, usually in the folder. If you want to are looking for a part, just open the folder you store in. You can find it in your own folder, then just click Insert. Then we won't insert it in this class. Just briefly introduce the working environment. Then this interface has been introduced. So first, then look at this position. These are some commands of commonly used assemblies. This side is to add parts. After clicking, it will be the same as the interface you first clicked in. And then if you don't have the drawn parts here, you can also click Create Parts. Create new parts. Then the parts you plugged in must have no constraints. They are free. So you need to give them some constraints. Let them be assembled together. Then you can click this to insert some constraint commands. For example, this is the angle. That is, the angle between parts can be limited, and then concentricity, distance, and fixation. Parallel. These are some commonly used constraint commands. There are also some moving components here. This is the working environment. Some specific operations can also refer to PPT. So that's the end of our lesson. Thank you all.